What is up, everybody? What is going on? This is Anthony with VR 365. Welcome to another episode of the show. It is now 2 p.m. I probably need to turn down this episode a little bit. It is 2:01 p.m. Pacific time. It is April 26th. We are mere days away, folks. Days away from the Oculus Quest, from the Rift S, and the Valve Index info dump. It is all coming in a matter of days. It's gonna be crazy. Imagine how many YouTube videos are gonna pop onto the scene on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just so much shit. It is gonna be incredible. People are gonna be doing videos of like buying their stuff, getting their Quest, and then the info dump from Valve. I mean, think how many MRTV videos you're going to get out of the info dump from Valve. It is going to be glorious, and it's going to be a lot of chaos in the gaming industry. Too much stuff at one time. Like, why couldn't these guys get around a table and figure this thing out? Why do they need to drop everything in a 48-hour window? You know, it's too much good stuff, especially if when the Rift S comes out, we do get something like Stormland or Defector or Dead and Buried 2 on the Oculus Rift, like the actual Rift version of one of those games, or maybe Dance Central. Dance Central could be out next Tuesday. Dead and Buried 2 could be out next Tuesday for the Oculus Rift. Stormland potentially could be out next Tuesday for the Oculus Rift. And then you've got a million Oculus Quest games that are all coming out, and also experiences on the Oculus Quest as well. It is going to be chaos. Somebody says I look high in the thumbnail, to be honest. No, I wasn't high. Definitely not high. Maybe a bad hair day. That is true. Yeah, you know what? So the thing about the thumbnail images, I got to talk about that for a quick second. Since you went ahead and brought it up, 720, Xbox 720, maybe that will be the next Xbox. We're waiting, of course, for E3 to see what... I feel like I'm about to sneeze any second. But now I'm not going to sneeze, okay? This happened to me yesterday. But what I'll say about the thumbnail images is a lot of my thumbnail images are me wearing long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, stuff like that. And then it got crazy hot because what I like to do originally, I wanted to be in a situation where whatever I'm wearing in the thumbnail, that's what I'm wearing on the show. And I was doing that for a while. Like, I was pretty good about that for a minute. And I would make all these different thumbnail images with like every different little shirt or top or jacket or whatever I'm wearing, right? And then based on what I'm wearing that day, I pop that image on. I make my little image. It's all good. And so, but the thing is, I don't have a lot of short sleeve stuff. I do, but it's like these really, really old short sleeve shirts. I mean, these old images that I did when I wasn't really doing it right, and it's like bad resolution. It looks ugly, and I figured out a way to do it a little bit better. So yeah, no, not high, not yet. Anyways, not yet. Maybe later. But yeah, so we've got some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news in chat. Christoph Draken. You know, there used to be a Super Nintendo game called Draken, but it had 2 Ks. Christoph Draken is saying HP Reverb on Amazon now. Bam, go get it. Go get that HP Reverb, everybody. Okay, I'm going to go to Amazon. Let's do a live search. Hold on a second here. I'm going to get my Webinal browser ready here, and let's go ahead and do a live search and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to switch over. Oh, damn. I am in the Webby browser. Okay, so I'm in the Webby browser now. Let's do HP Reverb. HP Reverb. Well, I'll be a horse's ass. Temporarily out of stock. The HP Reverb is in the building, ladies and gentlebots. Temporarily out of stock. Order now and will deliver when available. Well, I will be a horse's patootie. There it is, guys, the HP Reverb. Look at that beautiful cloth. You know, if you have a problem with your HP Reverb, just go to a Honda Civic circa 1998 and get some cloth from the back seats and you're good to go. That is the HP Reverb 599 buccarinis. Dual LCDs, 2.89 inches with pulse backlight technologies. Compatible with NVIDIA and a lot of shit like that. Yeah, this is the HP Reverb. You know, was this for sale and it sold out, or did it just come out like that? I'm guessing it just came out like that. Like they don't actually have stock of this yet. But there it is. Reverb is in the mix. Draken. Yeah, Draken on Super Nintendo. Kind of a crappy game. But yeah, it was out there. I remember it. Or the Super Nintendo game wasn't very good. Paradise Decay says the PC version was awesome. I think I rented the Super Nintendo version. Not very good, brah. But yeah, that is the HP Reverb. I'm excited for the Reverb. There's a part of me, though, you know, the Acer Oho has the legitimate IPD adjustment. Also, there is the fact that on Tuesday, a lot of us could be spending somewhere in the $900-ish range if we buy a Quest and a Rift S. So what money is left over for a Reverb? And then the info dump of the Valve Index, that's going to break the bank because you know you're going to have to save up for that. Oh, you know what? My camera gets off when okay, I'm going to switch back over to... Let's switch back over to this mode here. Yeah, we're going to switch over to this mode here because I get to celebrate my newest YouTube subs. So if you're watching this show right now and you haven't subbed, what are you doing? You could have a picture of yourself scuba diving. You could be a free diver. You could have a picture of yourself scuba diving, or you could have a picture of yourself holding a cigarette. Or you can leave a YouTube comment like Paradise Decay. Anthony, when you talk about Joe and Sally Walmart, don't forget about Timmy Walmart. Or Paul Smith. My money's on Samsung. AR VR is all about the screens. I did have a question of the day a number of days ago where I was talking about the greatest horse race that we've ever seen, ladies and gentlebots. Better than the Kentucky Derby, better than the Preakness, better than all of that. The greatest horse race is which company is going to win the AR VR wars that are basically upon us. And there's probably like 17 different companies that are lining up. Favorites include Google, Microsoft, Apple. Honestly, I think like if you were to look, like we should do this like it is the Kentucky Derby, you know what I mean? And Apple would be like 3-2 odds. Like I'm guessing Apple would be the odds-on favorite to win that horse race simply based on the fact that they are the leader. They're the de facto leader. Oh, also, thank you to Shantomio. He's already supported me a number of times. He was a guest on our show, and he just donated $5 recently. And Skiva007, here's a comment. Huge fan of Last Starfighter. Jason Westmus talking about tabletop games. He loves it. That's when I was talking about Table of Tales for PlayStation VR, which I continue to hear good things. Joanne Kinney, a $20 donation. That is awesome. I really appreciate it. MRTV, he commented and it says, oh, you do get hard-hitting reporting on MRTV as well. Sebastian, you know I was joking, right? You know I was joking. I was just kidding. I was just joking. It's a live show. Things come out of my mouth, and that's kind of the way it is. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into our actual show today. I've just kind of been freestyling here for a little bit, and let's actually do the real show. Okay, so one thing I do want to do real quick is let's thank our sponsor, and our sponsor is not Jan Red, even though he donated an amount less than $7, but more than $6. Really funny, Janred, about the amount of money that you donated. That was really funny. I'm not going to fall for it. So I rounded you up to $7. That is the old Catholic not choir boy, altar boy. I was a freaking altar boy, y'all. I grew up as a Catholic. I'm Italian. And when you're Italian, you're automatically Catholic. I mean, they just stamp that shit on your birth certificate. I'm Italian and Irish. That's a freaking double shot of Catholic upbringing. And I was a freaking altar boy, all right? So don't come at me with those kinds of donation amounts. I'm not going to post it on my show. Okay, so here's, main fan got it right. Yeah, Janred donated $6.60 and then a few extra cents on top of it. I'm not even going to say it. Okay, but our sponsor of the day is Jay Pace. Yeah, Jay Pace. You guys remember the episode when I interviewed Jay Pace? That was before we had actual camera capabilities. Now we have actual camera capabilities, and we definitely need to have Jay Pace come back on the show and do another interview with Jay Pace. That will definitely happen. But Jay Pace, am I Joe Rogan's cousin? No, but can I borrow a few of Joe Rogan's dollars? Because I'll certainly take some of that. Absolutely. But Jay Pace, what was I saying? Damn it, I lost my train of thought now. But anyway, Jay Pace, yeah, not only has he been a huge supporter of this show for a long, if everybody wants to donate $6.60 and then some additional pennies, go right ahead. Keep on doing it. Go right ahead. Jay Pace has been somebody that has watched this show for a long time, way back since the VR game ranking days. And then he was a guest on this show, and then he also joined the Patreon. So, much love to Jay Pace out there. Really appreciate it. Eventually, we're going to get through this, and we're going to thank all our Patreon supporters that have been supporting for a while now, and I got to do that. The other thing I'll say about Jay Pace, and damn it, I forgot. What was I going to say about Jay Pace or some other thing? Oh, okay, so I have this idea, guys. I have an interesting idea. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this show. It's called The Bobby Blackwolf Show. Okay, there's a podcaster called Bobby Blackwolf, and I'm hoping to have him guest on an episode of this show. Maybe a week from Sunday, Bobby Blackwolf might come on this show, and I'm looking forward to that in a major way. He's like a regular video game dude, not a VR guy, but personally, he's really into VR. Even though his audience probably doesn't really like VR very much, he's into VR, right? And I'm hoping to have him on my show, and I'm going to talk to him about VR and all kinds of stuff, and that's coming up soon. But the reason I bring this up is at the end of Bobby Blackwolf's episodes, he takes phone calls. And I was just thinking, what if I took Skype calls from people out there like you, maybe towards the end of the show, like save the last 10 minutes of the show for a Skype call, an incoming Skype call. It's something I thought about, but here's the deal. Here's how it's going to have to work, guys. Rudel Zavedno, look, we know you're broke. Don't worry about it, brah. Don't worry about it, brah. Write an article for VR Game Rankings. All will be forgiven. The email is info@vrgamerankings.com. Yeah, you guys no one needs to support this show, but if you want to, shit, might as well do it, right? But nobody needs to support this show. If you do support this show, that's awesome. That's great, but it's not a requirement. But much love to Jay Pace out there. But one thing I did want to say real quick is I'm thinking of this idea of having call-ins towards the end of the show, but here's how it's going to have to work. You got to go to the Discord server. You got to hit me up with a private message. I got to make sure that you're like a legitimate person and not somebody that's going to do some, play some kind of prank on my ass live on YouTube where I'm going to get banned or something. So hit me up on the Discord server. Send me a private message and I'll give you my Skype info. And then basically we could have like maybe 30 or 40 people that will have my Skype info, and I'll have them on my Skype. And then I'll say, okay, I'm taking calls. And then if anybody, bam, just wants to call in, boom, we can go ahead and do that. I think it might be an interesting idea. So it's something I've been thinking about, having possible call-ins to the show. Anybody that has already guested on the show could call in, or anybody that's been confirmed as a possible call-in person could do that. So that's something I was thinking about. I think it would be kind of cool. Okay, let's get into the actual show now. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is Proze Enlightenment. And let's see, let's go over to the Steam page, I guess, first for Proze Enlightenment. And now I got to find the Steam page here. Here we go. Okay, so let's go over to the Webby browser. And this is the Steam page for Proze Enlightenment. This game is available. In fact, it came out yesterday on the 25th. Developer is Sign. I've never really heard of these guys. Price is going for $20, but there is a 10% launch discount, so it is going for $18 right about now, and that ends on May 2nd is when that ends. No user reviews yet. If you look at, like, this was my background right here. Look at that beautiful background, and screenshots look pretty cool. And so anyways, I got to try this game out yesterday. So let me go ahead and talk about that a little bit. So let's bounce back over to our standard scene here. And I'm going to go ahead and pop on a trailer for Proze Enlightenment so we can kind of get into this a little bit. And, all right. So Proze Enlightenment. When I first got it, well, actually, let me start off with the fact that I played a demo for this a long time ago. There was a demo. And it's still out there, I believe, the demo for Proze. It was like Proze Episode 1 or something like that. They had a demo for this. I tried it a long time ago, and it didn't work good for me at all. I got tremendous stutter. It wasn't working right, and it was one of those situations where you go into an experience. Anthony doesn't want anyone who links Rick Astley videos. Yeah, that's an instant ban. You know somebody is going to try to just screw me bad on these call-ins, so I got to be careful with that. But I played this old demo. I mean, I played the demo back when it came out, and I just was getting horrible performance. And I'm sure this has happened to you guys before, where you get into like a demo or a trial or something, you get horrible performance, and then you just want to bounce out of there right away. And so that's kind of what happened to me the very first time I played Proze Enlightenment. But the thing is, now I have a new computer. That was on my previous computer, my previous video card. I've got a new computer now. And so hopefully things will be different, right? So I went into Proze. Oh man, my camera thing is off. Let's go ahead. I don't need you guys to see my microphone thing like that. Okay, so we'll go into this view right here. Let me dial this in. Okay, so anyway, so I go into Proze, and the good news is no performance problems. Everything was very smooth and working very well, and so that was really nice. Now, the downside is the very first room that you start out in, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in that room. This is part of it right there. See that keyboard? I didn't type in Proze like that, though. Maybe that's the freaking password. Maybe I just solved my problem, because I'm actually stuck where you put in the username and the password, and it won't let me move past that point. So I'm in Proze, and I'm in this area. Haven't gotten out there to the beautiful snow yet. So I haven't seen this part of the game. But what I can report on is what I've experienced so far has been pretty good. Like, there's nothing too bad I could say about it. In fact, the early section that I'm in kind of reminds me a little bit of Red Matter. Now, it doesn't have that incredible background music that Red Matter had. And it doesn't have like some of the special touches of Red Matter. Maybe the graphics are not as good as, say, Red Matter. But I could see somebody in that very beginning area. It's almost like a little bit of a poor man's Red Matter. And it's a puzzle game, you know. And so, like, how many freaking puzzle games are we going to deal with in VR? It's almost like we're overwhelmed with puzzle games. In fact, rendered reality... So it looks like rendered reality is playing this game as well. Proze looks pretty good. Some of the puzzle games can be frustrating. And so he's probably playing a preview build of that as well. So so the thing is, yeah, how many games do we get into now where you're stuck in a room and you got to solve a number of puzzles? And that's kind of what's happening with Proze. We've seen this over and over again, and it can be really good. You can get a lot of good gameplay out of that. But the downside of all these puzzle games is that sometimes you'll get stuck on an arbitrary puzzle and you're just banging your head against the wall and you're like, God damn it, what am I doing here? Like you think I've done everything I could possibly do in this game to solve this puzzle. I've looked in every corner. I've looked in every nook and cranny. I've tried hitting every button and every lever. I've tried putting in every combination of everything I could possibly do, and still no dice. I'm stuck. And then maybe you go to YouTube or something, you go to some kind of walkthrough, you find out what the secret was, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. That's so obvious. How did I not realize that right from the very beginning? And so it's kind of a very familiar thing. We're used to this, and there's a fine line between having some interesting puzzles that aren't just ridiculously easy to solve, but then also being ridiculously frustrated where you don't want to go back in the game as well. And this type of game is so commonplace in VR that it's another one of those games, So it's like, do you really need another one of those games? But I'm liking what I've seen from Proze so far. It is a $20 game. I mean, I know it's on sale for $18 right now. I can't necessarily say like, oh yeah, everybody just buy this game right now. What I can say is it's not garbage. Like, I can definitely tell from what I've played so far that this game is not garbage. It is an interesting game, but I got to play more into it. So that's kind of my thought on Proze. I'm liking it, but I don't have a definitive take. I simply do not have a definitive take on it. And so that brings me to the next point that I want to get into, guys. And this, I want to bring this up because it relates to a lot of these games I've been playing recently, like JetX, ARMS, Proze, A Chair in a Room, Jupiter and Mars. How many games have I played recently where I haven't given you guys a definitive take? A definitive take. I'm going to switch off of this trailer, though, because I'm not really talking about Proze anymore. So I will continue to play Proze. I'm not done with it. I will continue to play it, but I'm just going to go ahead and move off of that trailer, and I'll just throw something else on real quick. Okay, so we'll move off of that. But basically, I don't like this. I don't like reporting to you guys and not having a definitive take on a game. I want to have a definitive take. I want to come up on here and I want to say, oh my God, Proze is incredible. It's awesome. It's so amazing. I did this and I did, I want to have that kind of take, or I want to have the opposite where I'm like, this game is garbage. The controls are terrible. The graphics make me want to puke. I want to have a definitive take. I don't want to be wishy-washy. That's the worst thing in the world. Like, nobody wants to be wishy-washy, but I gotta be honest about it and just say that a lot of these games, it's like a lot of them are like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have, like, the last game I played that I was super positive on where I could recommend it to pretty much everybody is probably Ghost Giant. Ghost Giant, Vacation like even Vacation Simulator. I was kind of wishy-washy on that. It's still a great game, but I could definitely see people not being a fan of Vacation Simulator and basically going into Vacation Simulator and just being like, this is all the same crap we've seen a million times before. It's just a little bit new, some new jokes, some new backgrounds. But anyway, I just want to apologize for being wishy-washy on this stuff. It's not my intention to be wishy-washy, but I've been wishy-washy. So what am I going to say about that? Anyways, let's go to some news. So let's go ahead and bounce over to Upload VR. So let me go ahead and get this dialed up. Let's go over here to Upload VR. Okay, switching over to the Webinol browser. So here we are. We are on Upload VR. And in the news, or maybe, actually it was an Upload. I think it was Road to VR that I want to go to. Okay, so Road to VR, this is obviously big right here. Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild. They have been updated. VR support is available now. It is out there. And let's go ahead. I still have not stuck my head inside that cardboard. So I have not seen Nintendo Labo VR at all. I thought about doing a post on like the Sacramento Craigslist or Reddit or something and asking, hey, does anybody in Sacramento have this Nintendo Labo? Can I like drive over to your house and like check it out for 15 minutes so I can kind of have a take on this? I thought about doing that, but I haven't done that. I also thought about buying all this stuff and finding somebody that has a Labo and saying, hey, I bought all this crap. Can you bring your Labo over here and we can check it out together and I can just give you the stuff later? I thought about that as well. Haven't done that either. So I have not tried any of the Labo stuff, but Road to VR is got some updates on this. And so what they're saying here is that Zelda Breath of the Wild is a simple adaptation which effectively just changes the default third-person camera into a third-person VR camera. Okay, the accelerometer in the Switch is employed to turn the camera as you turn your head, but the camera can also be rotated with your thumbstick. YouTuber Austin John Plays has a walkthrough, so you can click on that if you want to go to Road to VR. I'm sure there's other YouTubers. In fact, our boy MainFan, do you got a video for this yet? I'm guessing MainFan has all the Labo stuff. So, and MainFan is doing a lot of videos and a lot of, he's blowing up on his channel. And so I'm guessing he probably will do a quick little video on like Breath of the Wild talking about what it is, and he'll probably do a quick little video on Super Mario Odyssey. So I would probably look towards that to see how this works. I would love to stick my head into a cardboard, into a Labo VR. I would like to see what Breath of the Wild looks like and try to play the game for like 5 minutes in VR just to kind of have a knowledge of that. I would like to do that, but I have not actually experienced it. Now, Super Mario Odyssey has a more involved VR mode, which brings a short but unique VR mission where the player controls Mario from a fixed third-person view, which uses head tracking similar to Astrobot. In the mission, Mario collects coins and notes and takes instruments to musicians to complete each stage. Okay, so that's what's going on. So it's out there. It's in the mix, Nintendo Labo VR. What do you guys think? Has anybody here tried it? Okay, so MainFan is driving home from work. He hasn't tried it yet. But yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got videos to make. But yeah, that is Zelda and Mario. They are in VR. This is obviously going to be a super interesting situation just to find out what happens next. Because Nintendo has put out a lot of VR stuff now with the batch of stuff that they've thrown out there. The question is, will there be any kind of follow-up stuff? What is going to happen now? Are we going to get an actual Nintendo VR device, like a legitimate Nintendo VR device? Are we going to continue to get some Labo VR things? Are they going to continue to occasionally have a Labo VR mode for like Mario Kart or something? Will they add it for some of their other existing games? All of these things are possibilities. I kind of feel like what they're doing here is they're kind of dipping their toes in VR. I mean, I think this strategy works for them from a number of angles because it's Nintendo Labo and it's Labo VR. This is not Nintendo VR. This is not Switch VR. So they're kind of testing the waters. I think it's probably a brilliant idea the way they did this. They're testing the waters. They also designed it so that it's kind of kid-oriented. You look at all the advertisements, it shows like an 11-year-old kid or a 9-year-old kid or whatever that's building this. I think they even allow, like you can be 7 years old and up and you can play this stuff. So they're kind of going to this like younger audience. And they're going to kind of see, they're testing the waters. They're going to see, how many times can I say test the waters? Apparently about 5. But that's what they're doing here. And we'll just have to see where it goes from here. But I think part of this is, think about Nintendo. One of their longtime rivals over the last 15 years, the last 20 years, is Sony. one of their longtime rivals is Sony, right? And Sony's been dipping into VR in a major, major way. I mean, Sony is another Japanese video game company. Nintendo has to be acutely aware of everything that Sony is doing. And in the video game market, they know that Sony has a VR device that's out there. They're selling these VR headsets. They're actually selling. Even if a company, like let's say Nintendo internally, let's say they absolutely hate VR. They can't stand VR. They wish VR would die in a boat fire. Even if that is the actual case, and that may have been the case a handful of years ago, but even if that's the case, if your competitors are doing a lot of VR stuff, you can't just blindly stick your head in the sand and be like, neener, 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 I'm not going to listen, na, 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 na. You can't do that. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. And so Nintendo is aware. They're aware of what's going on with Sony. They're also aware that there's a company called Oculus. Well, not Oculus Quest. I was going to say a company called Oculus Quest. There's a company called Oculus that has a product called the Oculus Quest, which might start to infringe on your turf, because you go to a Target store, you go to the video game section, what do you see? You see Xbox One X, you see PlayStation 4, you see Nintendo Switch, you see PlayStation VR, you see these things that are in the video game section of Target, the video game section of Walmart, the video game section of Costco or Best Buy or Fry's Electronics or any of these places, or you go online and you're going to Amazon, you're looking up video games. You see all these things there, and now you're going to start to see the Oculus Quest intermingled with this stuff as well. Nintendo's smart. They're smart. They've been in this industry since pretty much the beginning, and they're not going to let other people come into their game and just ruin shit. And so even though they probably know that the Oculus Quest is more of like a long-term play and it's not going to immediately cause major disruption, they also know that the potential is there for major disruption. And that's why Xbox is so puzzling to me. The reason I got into this whole entire thing is because, god damn it, Xbox is puzzling to me. Wait, there's a Valve rumor? Okay, there's lots of Valve rumors. So here's the thing. A lot of people jump into chat. I've noticed this. People will jump into chat and they're like, oh my God, breaking news, da-da-da-da. Okay, so we did get legitimate breaking news with Amazon, but I don't know that we're getting breaking news with any of these other things. Okay, so there's breaking news about the Valve Index. I think what they're talking about here. So let's go ahead and we'll switch over to the Webby browser. We'll switch over to the Vive subreddit. And I think I might need to refresh this. Okay, so I did notice this on the Vive subreddit. According to VNN, the 3 Valve VR games are Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, and codenamed Citadel, a co-op asynchronous VR stealth game. Okay, so I've heard about this, but here's the thing. VNN, why do people put so much stock into VNN? I've listened to that, guys. I've listened to a number of different things from VNN. The guy talks 1,000,000 miles a minute. There's no pauses. I guarantee you he edits the freaking living hell out of that shit, so there are no pauses. And Valve did this, and Valve did it, and Valve did this, and Valve did this, and Valve did it. It was hidden in the source code, and hidden in the source code, and then in the source code, we double flip this, and you double flip the L, and what do you get? Half-Life 3, Half-Life 3, Half-Life 3. VNN, yeah, breaking news. Valve Index is $200. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've listened to some of this VNN stuff, and interesting thought processes all the way around. But I'm not buying into it. The guy has said a lot of things about a lot of things. It hasn't necessarily happened. Now, the people that really back VNN and really believe this guy knows what he's talking about, and he's got the inside track, and he's got sources within Valve and all that stuff. There's people that really buy into that, and they say that every time he's been wrong, It's not that he's been wrong, it's that Valve has changed their mind. And I'm like, oh yeah, how incredibly convenient that Valve changes their mind every time he's wrong. But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I haven't really been keeping up. Okay, let's go to the Valve Index is a sub, right? Yeah, let's go to the Valve Index sub. I haven't checked the Valve Index sub in quite some time. And, maybe there are some leaks and stuff. I mean, we are getting closer to May 1st now. The info dump is coming. We know we're going to find out some major shit in May. What we know, Mega Thread, they got the VNN story, Valve's talk and slides from GDC 2019. Haven't seen that. So let's check this out. Oh, it's like a video you got to watch, and never mind. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten into all the little, the thing is, I think base stations. So some people are talking about this. Let's take a look at this. Oh, that's interesting. Those do look kind of like finalized base stations. Base stations 2.0, brah. So that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get caught up in all the rumors. So maybe I should look at that, but I'm going to have to look at that later because I'm not really prepared for all of it. Okay, so let's go to our next story. So let's see, where are we going to go now? So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go Final Assault. Okay, so did you guys hear the news? Final Assault, which reviews are very positive. Look at that, 86 very positive reviews. It's available for $20. It's 33% off. You got 42 hours left in this. And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. On May 16th, Final Assault is coming out of early access. They watched one of my episodes where I was talking about how early access is a bullshit shield, and they decided, you know what? Let's break the shield. Let's come out of early access. F this early access stuff. We want to get on the quest. You can't get on the quest if you're early access. We're coming out of it. I'm just kidding about all that stuff there. But anyway, they are coming out of early access on May 16th, and the price is going to jump to 30 bones. So if you do want an opportunity to grab Final Assault before it goes to 30 bones, you got a little while to do that. It's $20 right now. Go ahead and do it. And then also, let's see, we can go over here to Road to VR. I believe they have a story on this. Yeah, Road to VR, there are a lot of improvements and a lot of things that are coming to Final Assault in the very near future now that it is coming out of early access and it's basically fully available. Okay, so the full game feature includes story and skirmish campaign modes, US and German divisions including heavy armor, Air Force infantry units, cross-platform PvP multiplayer with leaderboards, customization of units, flags, and player avatars. That's kind of cool. Think about it. I can make little VR 365 flags and stuff. That'd be pretty sweet. 14 unique maps from the icy lanes of the small village of Kleinstadt to the brush-covered battlefield of Hill 512. Cross-platform PvP. Cross-platform PvP between Vive, Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, Pimax, Star VR, Valve Index, Rift S, and all those kinds of headsets. And then also, special bonus, guys, they are going to try to make a PlayStation VR version. So a PlayStation VR version is basically being explored. They're probably in early development on it. They probably plan on bringing Final Assault to PlayStation VR, and assuming everything goes well and they don't run into a major problem, it is going to be coming to PlayStation VR at some point as well. So these are all the updates with Final Assault. I believe Final Assault, one of the 5 best games that has been released in the year 2019. Am I lying? Am I lying, guys? That's the question of the day. So here's the question of the day. Actually, this is a pretty good question of the day. Let me go to the question of the day. And here's my question of the day. What is your favorite release of 2019 so far? So, like, what's the best game of 2019 so far? Shadow Legend VR? Audica? Final Assault? Vacation Simulator? Let's see, Tabletop Gods? You know, Space Junkies? Maybe Space Junkies. You know, a good way to find out recent games that have been released in the last 90 days is there is a little website that like features stuff like this. So if I can go over here, I haven't updated this recently, but we'll go ahead and take a look at it anyways. So let's go over here to the Webino browser, and this is vrgamerankings.com. And so here is one of the charts that we do. We do last 90 days, 20 best Oculus Rift games. And so you can see Space Junkies ranked number 1 at the time when we did this. Audica number 2. Shadow Legend number 3. A Fisherman's Tale. Angry Birds. Final Assault. Tabletop Gods. Bow to Blood. Durrell Valley. That came out this year actually. Dick Wild 2. Skyworld Kingdom Brawl. Beat Blaster. The Morrigan. Time Transit. Spuds Unearthed. ARMS. This needs to be updated though because like... for example, Vacation Simulator isn't on this list because this was April 6th is when this was last updated for the best games to come out in the last 90 days. But yeah, that's the question of the day. The question of the day is, what is your game of the year so far in the year 2019? What is your game of the year? And right now, I think if someone put a gun to my head, I think I would say Audica. I think I would actually say Audica is my game of the year. But you know what? Shadow Legend VR, Final Assault, they are right on that ass. They are, and even Ghost Giant for PlayStation VR. You know, I mean, that's probably like the top 5 there. Vacation Simulator, you know, yada, yada, yada. But I probably would say Audica. But I'm kind of interested in what you guys think is right now the game of the year so far in the year 2019. I mean, we're getting close to May. We're still very, very early in this year. But, you know, something to think about. Okay, so people in chat are talking about Space Junkies, and yeah, that is one of the stories I have as well. Now, I mentioned that Space Junkies was going to have a major sale. I talked about it yesterday. It's going to be on a major discount for a while. I wasn't sure exactly what the price was going to be, but here it is, 63% discount. You can grab Space Junkies for $14.79. Now, you might go to the Olive Garden by yourself for lunch with your little phone to look at Reddit while you eat a fatty ass meal, and that's going to cost you probably more than $14.79 if you leave a decent tip, depending on whether or not you get a soda or not. I don't drink soda, I drink water, right? But $15, pretty good deal for Space Junkies. I like this game. In fact, honestly, if this was the real price for Space Junkies in perpetuity, this would be one of my possible game of the years for 2019. Part of the reason I didn't give Space Junkies a ton of love is because I thought the $40 price was just so out of whack. And it's just so hard to recommend it at $40. But god damn it, at $15, this is a dream come true. And think about all the Space Junkie nutballs out there. They are going to get a giant influx of audiences bombarding this game in the next couple of days on all the different platforms. And a lot of PSVR players, you know, Move controllers have been added as well. Like we can go over here on PlayStation VR as well. You can see the price is $14.79 on PlayStation VR. One thing you do want to know about this though, a paid PlayStation Plus subscription is required for online multiplayer. And can you guys believe this? Dude, Paradise Decay, come on, man. What is the current game of the year? It's got to be available now, dude. Stormlands ain't available now. It's got to be a game that's available right now. So the question of the day is a game that's available right now. The game like Shadow Legends, Space Junkies, Vacation Simulator, Audica, Angry Birds, Tabletop Gods, Stormland. Can I go to Oculus right now and buy Stormlands and play it tonight? No, I can't. It's got to be a game that was available. It's got to be available now, is what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, Space Junkies, really good deal. That's good news. There's going to be a huge influx of Space Junkie players. And the veterans are going to be wiping the floor with their asses. But you know what? It's a fun game. It's a good game. I like Space Junkies. I should probably jump back in there. You know what I probably should do? Kevin says, settle down. Am I getting a little bit too hyped on Space Junkies? Oh, he's probably tripping off the fact that I was going a little bit crazy on Paradise. Okay, so Paradise says Shadow Legends or Ghost Giant. Okay, no, Paradise. Gun to your head, brah. Pick one. Gun to your head. What are you going to do? You got to call it Shadow Legends or Ghost Giant. But no, those are two really great games. I'm going to give it to Audica. Okay, let's see. What was I going to do now? So we've covered some of this stuff. All right, let's see. Okay, the next news story. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. Okay, I want to talk about this. This is probably going to piss some of you guys off, but it's all right. I'm going to do it anyway. Firmament. Let's talk. Oh, it's not even on Steam. Okay, so let me do a Google search for Firmament Kickstarter, brah. Okay, Firmament Kickstarter. Okay, it's starting to really heat up in this room, I'll tell you that. At first, I thought it was going to be a lot cooler today. Yeah, so Firmament, brah. Firmament has been backed. Are you guys happy? Oh, Main Fan says Gadgeteer or Shadow Legend. Okay, so Gadgeteer is that solid. You know what, Main Fan, do you want to, are you at home? Oh, you're not at home, because I was saying, do you want to be our first call-in guest? I could talk live to Main Fan about Gadgeteer. I could add you at the last minute, Mamie, if you get home. But Firmament has passed its, it did pass its amount. Everything is good. Did anybody really think that this was in danger? Like, this was not in danger, anybody. Yeah, there is a rant incoming, Kevgret. Here's the rant. The rant is this. Once this passed 800,000, it's a done deal. Nobody had to pledge any more money to this, because I guarantee you, Rand Miller has more money in the freaking back pocket of his Levi jeans that he could cover the rest of this. All right. This was going to be kickstarted, period, dot. But on every little subreddit, every little message board, come on, guys, there's only a couple of hours left. We've got to get Firmament, guys. We've got to get Firmament. Oh my God, if we don't support this, it's not going to happen. I don't believe that for a New York minute. I don't believe it. No. Okay, the only time that this thing was in danger is when it was below 700,000. Once it passed 700,000, do you really think Cyan Worlds Incorporated is going to look a gift horse in the mouth? They got a free $700,000 staring them in the face, and let's say they didn't get a single additional backer, no more pledges. It was stuck at 700,000. There was like 5 minutes left. Oh, there's 10 minutes left, guys. 10 minutes left. So get your money in there. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. They're going to hit almost 1.5 mil with 10 minutes left. You got 18,000 backers. But what I'm trying to say is, you're telling me that they're going to look a gift horse in the mouth, that they're going to look at $700,000 and they're going to think to themselves in their head, well, if we come up with another $700,000 that happens to be in Rand Miller's Ferrari, in the trunk of his Ferrari at his palatial estate, you're telling me that we get a free $700,000? Oh, no, we're not going to do that. I guess Firmament is never going to happen. That's my take when it comes to these Kickstarters. But you know what? It's a wag the dog kind of situation, man. It's a straight up wag the dog. And you mofos got wagged. Your tails got wagged so damn hard that your tails are probably falling off right now. This bothers me. It bothers me. I'm a fan of, Cyan Worlds is going to hate me now. If they ever see this, they're going to hate me. I'm not going to get a key for Firmament. And that's okay. But you know what? I'm going to stick to my guns here, man. This is Cyan Worlds is not a freaking backyard developer with 3 dudes in their garage. Did you see their freaking did you see the freaking palatial business offices that they're in, and some nice ass forest and shit overlooking some beautiful ass bay? I mean, get the hell out of Dodge with this shit. Like, these guys were so desperate for money, like it could have never happened. I'll tell you what, if this was under 800K, maybe it wouldn't happen. But once it hit 700, 800K, they're going to reach into their own pockets. They'll cover the rest. You guys did not have to put money towards this. Now, the good news is, if you pledge $30 or more, okay, so you got the game. So, I mean, that's understandable. Like, somebody that pledges $30, you got the game. You know, if you're going to buy the game anyway, and it's going to be $29.99 anyway, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm really okay with that. But like, people that really, like, there's people that literally thought that this was in danger of not happening. Even when it was past 800,000, people thought this was in danger of not happening. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, anyways, I'm going to move on. Okay, let's see. What's our next topic? PSVR Life podcast. Yeah, so I'll talk about this real quick. Let me see if I can find this. No, that's a different story I wanted to get to. Damn it. I think I erased it now. Okay, so let me do a quick Google search here. I like talking about podcasts because now I'm back at work. PSVR Life podcast. Now I am back doing an actual job in a real facility, actually doing real work and receiving real pay. It's kind of a weird thing, but I'm always on the lookout for a good podcast, right? And so I saw this on the PSVR subreddit, that PSVR Life, it was a podcast that was going on for a long time. I guess it disappeared for a very long time, and there wasn't any PSVR Life podcast like for about 5 or 6 months. Well, they are back in business. And I just listened today. I just listened to episode 93. I'm actually not done with it. I got to finish it. But you know what? The guy like Danthal, like, I don't know who Danthal is, but I like the dude's voice. I like the dude's voice. So you know what? Here is a shout out to Danthal. Bro, you want to come on VR 365? We could talk some PlayStation VR, brah. We could talk about PSVR 2. We could talk about the current state of PSVR. I like radio announcer-like voices, and this guy has one. MainFan had kind of a radio announcer voice. I brought him on the show. Alex from Play PSVR, the podcast, great radio announcer. Right now, I'm going to tell you guys, Alex is the clubhouse leader. Apologies to MainFan. But Alex is the clubhouse leader when it comes to radio announcer voices. Alex, I'm telling you, if you're listening right now, or if somebody gives you this message, dude, you're making a tragic mistake if you don't go work for Sirius or some kind of broadcasting company, because you've got a magical voice, bro. It is like if LeBron never picked up a basketball. What kind of a crying shame that would be. So, dude, get on the radio. But this guy, Danthal, he's got a pretty good radio voice too. So I kind of want to get this guy on the show. So anyways, I listened to this episode. It's pretty good. And I heard these episodes a long time ago, PSVR Life. So if you're looking for a PSVR related podcast, maybe give this one a chance. All right. So anyways, Kevgret says he can never come on the show. He has a girly voice. No, you know what? Different voices are good. And here's the thing, Kevgret. I don't know if you've heard the announcement. If you're tuning in late, one of these ideas that I have for this show is a call-in segment in the last 10 minutes of the episode where people could call in. But the thing is, you got to come on Discord. You got to shoot me a private message on Discord. I'll give you my Skype name. You'll give me your Skype name. We'll try doing a quick little test call or something just to make sure you're not a freaking scammer that's going to try to rickroll my ass. And then you could possibly call into this show. Girly voice and all. It's all good. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Daily deal. The daily deal, y'all. We got another daily deal, and this one is a legitimate daily deal. It is Carly and the Reaper Man. Carly and the Reaper Man is the daily deal. It's going for 15 bucks, 25% off. Normal price is 20 bucks. You got a little over 9 hours in this. Now, I've tried Carly and the Reaper Man. Not a bad game. Who's the developer again? Odd Raven Studios. Yeah, Odd Raven Studios. I believe they're a Swedish developer, I think. But not a bad game at all. Now, I got a key from these guys, right? And I was trying to play this, and then I came to this was very, very early when it first came out. I was trying to play it, and then I came to the realization that you need to have a friend to play it. And I'm like, I don't have any friends. I have kids, but they're not going to want to play with my ass. So how am I going to play this game? So what I would try to do, just to try to see how the game was, I was in the VR headset, and I was trying to play it in the VR headset, and then I had my Xbox controller, a wired controller, and I was like trying to bounce back and forth. So I was trying to play the flat version and then put my headset back on, play the VR version, then play the flat version. And that's kind of how it was with Carly and the Reaper Man in the very, very early part of it. But you know what? So many people reached out to them wanting some kind of single player mode. And so they kind of patched it in. So you can actually play this game by yourself now where you weren't able to before. Now the developer will still recommend the best way to play this game is you put somebody on your computer monitor with a regular controller and you're in the VR headset, or you can flip-flop, vice versa type of thing. This game is not bad. It's not bad at all. If you're a big fan of Moss, Astrobot, if you're a fan of Ghost Giant, there's actually a lot of similarities between Carly and the Reaper Man and Moss and Ghost Giant. It's an interesting little graphical world. In fact, me just looking at this image right here, right now, and seeing it on sale, it makes me want to go back into it and play it some more. I have not played this enough, not nearly enough, because I like that kind of art style. I like platformers. I'm good with third person in VR. I'm not allergic to third person in VR. And I can appreciate it. So Carly and the Reaper Man, not too bad. Okay, let's see. God, people are still talking about the goddamn Valve Index. Andy Sky, can we pre-order the Valve Index on May 1st? We don't know yet. We're waiting to see, possibly. Roy Schwartz, he just subbed to PSVR Life. And yeah, it's pretty good. I think you're going to like it. Good comedy as well. And, they're not afraid to be like, truthful and stuff, which is nice, okay. Oh, you know what? Here's a very good topic I have. So I saw a Reddit post that was super interesting. I read this Reddit post and I was like, wow, this is a really interesting Reddit post. Now I got to find it. Okay, let's see. Not that. Not that. Damn it. Now I can't find this. How come every time I want to find the right thing and now I can't find it? Where did it go? This is the HP reverb. We don't need that. Well, you know what? I can go ahead and mention this. This is coming up as well as one of the stories we wanted to get into. National Geographic Explorer VR is coming to the Oculus Quest this spring. And, looking at that screenshot right there, that looks like really good graphics. Like, doesn't that look like pretty good graphics for the Oculus Quest? Okay, this is going to be a 30-minute experience, so very short. It's developed by Force Field, which is the developer of Landfall, and it's basically going to be this type of thing where you're like adventuring. You're going off to Antarctica or something. Wait, where is this? It's a dramatic trip through Antarctica. National Geographic Explorer VR gives virtual explorers of all ages a thrilling mission to complete. Find a lost penguin colony hidden in the frozen wilderness. You know what it should have been? Find a crashed UFO. And then it could turn into the thing. And then it could be a bomb-ass adventure. That's what it should have been. Not a lost penguin colony. What is this? Happy Feet? Okay, find a lost penguin colony hidden in the frozen wilderness. The 30-minute experience kicks off with a kayak ride through icy waters. And there it is, bro. A kayak ride through icy waters. Looks pretty sweet. Okay, then you continue with a climb up the side of a towering ice sheet. So it's probably going to be this part right here where you're climbing up a towering ice sheet. Okay, then Then what happens? Explorers will even learn what it takes to survive an epic snowstorm. And you get one of those cocoon sleeping bags to hop into. You got your cool Oculus hands in the mix there. So yeah, this might be kind of cool. You get to put up a tent and everything. Using Oculus Touch, would-be adventurers will set up camp, build a wind barricade, and zip up their survival tents, all using their hands. We've built these activities with an option to be physically active or passive. So they're enjoyable for the entire family. So yeah, this is coming in spring. I don't know if this is going to be free. It's only 30 minutes, so hopefully it's relatively cheap. But, you know, Force Field was one of these developers, because I always go back to, what was it, OC5, Hugo Barra, walking around on stage, talking about all the different stuff that's coming to the Oculus Quest, and they had like a giant mural behind him, a big black wall that had all these different logos of all kinds of different developers. And one of them was Force Field. And I was wondering, you know, Force Field, they made Landfall. What are they doing for the Oculus Quest? Well, now we know what they're doing. Maybe not as exciting as we wanted. You know, it's a 30-minute experience, but it could be really cool and very interesting. So that's pretty sweet, National Geographic. This is something you could put your mom into, you know, or somebody that's not really into gaming per se. So not a bad idea there. But there's other studios. We're still waiting for the shoe to drop on some of these other studios, like Soulfar Studios, In Death. You know, is In Death coming to Oculus Quest? That's a possibility. Twisted Pixel, their name was up there, and we still don't know what Twisted Pixel is working on. So there are still games that are continuing to come. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to get into real quick? Well, you know what? Let's talk about Area of Darkness Sentinel really quick. This was one of those situations where Nostradamus Jr. was confirmed. Do you guys remember this? So on April 1st, you can go back. On April 1st, I did a show where we featured the games of April. And guess what? Area of Darkness had a date of April 11th. And in that episode, I was like, I'm getting a strange feeling that this is not going to make its April 11th launch date. Then it got delayed a couple of days. Then it got a couple of days later, it got delayed. And Nostradamus was redeemed. Okay, so here we are. It says late April 2019. Well, we're running out of days, guys. We are running out of days. We've literally got like 5 days or 4 days left in the month of April. There's not a lot of time, man. And I personally believe this is going to be delayed again. And here's what you guys should do. Rematch Studios, put summer 2019 or put third quarter 2019. Don't put like late May. Don't do that. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Let yourself exhale. Relax a little bit. Kick back. Put your feet up. Relax. Then get back to work and start programming the game and buttoning it up and finishing it up. I don't think this is going to make an a late April 2019 launch, but who the hell knows? This could be another really big game. It kind of looks like a little bit Tomb Raider. Has kind of an interesting look to it. So I'm rooting for this game. It like graphically, I mean, look at some of these screenshots. Looks beautiful. It's got some pretty good voice acting and stuff. You know, it kind of has a Tomb Raider vibe, an Uncharted vibe to a little bit. And so, I'm looking forward to this game. Like, look at that. I mean, some of these graphics look really, really nice here. But I feel like it's going to be delayed again. Okay. I do have a trailer to show off. Okay, so yesterday, let's see here. What was this? This is PSVR Life. Okay, so like on the Oculus blog, do you guys remember yesterday we were talking about the Oculus blog and we were talking about Tribeca and we were talking about all these different things that came to Tribeca, right? Well, there now is a trailer for this, The Key. And so I got the trailer for this. The Key is, let's see, what does it say about The Key? Part of Storyscape's Tribeca juried immersive selection, The Key is a 15-minute room-scale VR experience with a strong narrative structure punctuated by moments of choice. And it's narrated by Aaliyah Shawkat, and it is directed by Celine Tricart. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. I grabbed this trailer. Let's see what The Key is all about. So we'll bounce back over here, and let's go ahead and take a look at The Key trailer. Let me turn my volume up, though, first. Let's get the volume up. Okay, here we are. Question of the day, for those that didn't see that already, is what is the Game of the Year 2019? What currently available VR game is your Game of the Year right now? That was the question of the day. Okay, let's go ahead and check out this Key trailer. The Key.
Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting you. I don't usually have many visitors. My name is Anna. I'm having trouble remembering my past, but I keep having dreams about it. And in every one of them, there's this mysterious key. I want to remember where the key comes from and what it means. Can you help me?
All right, well, that is a key. I mean, the key, not a key. That is the key, and that will be coming to Oculus probably at some point. You know, I heard a rumor. I haven't checked this myself. We can actually check real quick here, though. If I go to, let's see, Carly and the Reaper Man, right? What is that? It's like Gymnasia or something like that. Gymnasia. Okay, so we saw the trailer for Gymnasia. This is out right now, guys. This is available right now. It's $5 though, and that's where you get into this question: are you willing to pay $5 for a cinematic VR experience? Because that's what this is. It's blending 3D, 360-degree video, stop-motion miniatures, and CGI. But I didn't know if this was free or it was going to cost money. But here it is, $5. What do you think? Are you guys going to check this out? It's available already. We saw this trailer yesterday. I thought it looked pretty good, especially the stop motion animation stuff. Kind of did remind me a little bit of Tim Burton, a little bit of like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that type of stuff. Gymnasia. And this is, you know, Felix and Paul. It's some good people behind it, but $5. But, you know, I mean, maybe it should be like $2.99 or $1.99. I think it might do a little bit better. Because, like, how long is this thing is my question. But, yeah, there is that. That is available out there. Okay, so the last little topic I want to get into, I know we're already an hour in, but I thought this was a really good subject that was here on the PlayStation VR subreddit. A really good question, and I thought it was really well-reasoned take on some of this stuff. I don't know if any of you guys saw this the other day, but basically this guy asked this question on the PlayStation VR subreddit. Oh, I'm not even in the right spot here. Okay, so here we are, Webby browser. Okay, here we are. We're in the right thing here. Okay, so can we discuss why people say that PlayStation VR is better than PC VR? Now that sounds crazy, right? But there are a few people out there that legitimately think that the PlayStation VR is the best VR platform there is, period. And I think one of the major reasons that some of these people think that is because the quality of the content that they're getting. Like, they feel like they're getting the best content, like Blood and Truth, Ghost Giant, Farpoint. Like, a lot of that stuff, they think like the really high-end Sony content is actually better than anything we're getting on PC VR. I know, it's kind of crazy, but there's people that actually really believe this. So anyway, this guy has a pretty well-reasoned take, and so I wanted to break it down real quick here. Here's what he says. I've had a Vive for a long time, and around 4 months ago, I bought a PlayStation VR bundle with Borderlands 2 and Beat Saber. Needless to say, I was extremely underwhelmed by these games. The tracking was/is just horrible. no real aim down the sights with Borderlands 2, extremely limited songs in Beat Saber, etc., etc. I went on to buy Firewall. The hype and how I heard some people saying it was better than Onward Pavlov, etc., etc. And again, I was extremely disappointed. I don't understand the claims made, especially having played all these games. Well, I'm glad PSVR makes VR accessible to more people, and I agree, it is a more comfortable headset. It does not come anywhere close to the experience, giddiness, joy I get from my Vive in terms of room scale, tracking, immersion, games, and such. Again, I'm not hating on the PSVR. While I've enjoyed games like Thumper, I love using my PSVR to play non-VR games like Black Ops, and have since been spoiled and can't play competitive first-person shooter games on flat screen. I now only use my PSVR for this reason. Without it, I play average to whatever, but when I put the PSVR on, screen set to large, I am always top of that leaderboard. I think it is partly due to the immersion and lack of distractions, for example. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I bring this up because I've seen people trying to say PSVR is better than Vive when it simply isn't true. Just as well, people hating on PSVR saying it's complete and utter garbage, which also is not true. I know, different strokes for different folks, but to say PSVR is better than Vive Oculus is just ridiculous when you compare the experiences side by side. For those of you that do think PSVR is better, PlayStation VR is better than PC VR, I would love to see and talk about your point of view. A well-reasoned discussion. This is Papa Dupa. This was 1 day ago that this guy posted it. And the number one response freaking knocked it out of the park. Okay, so Photo Gamer GT. This guy says, I have never personally heard anyone try to claim that PSVR is absolutely better than that PlayStation VR is absolutely better than PC VR. I have heard people say that the screen door effect and God rays were better on PlayStation VR. I have heard people say that the headset is more comfortable. I have heard people that like the exclusive games, Astrobot, Resident Evil 7, Wipeout, Firewall, Farpoint with the aim controller, which is vital for the full experience, etc., etc. However, I have never heard anyone try to claim that PSVR had tracking on par with Oculus and Vive. I also hear people express how amazed they are at what PSVR is capable of, given it is running on a PlayStation 4. But everyone acknowledges that a beefy PC will always push better graphics. Both have their place in the VR ecosystem, but each have their own perks. It all depends on what you want as a player. Room scale might be super immersive for you, but I wouldn't have enough room in my house to move much more than PlayStation VR allows anyway. While I would prefer more stable tracking, what PSVR offers at the price without my need to purchase a super expensive PC is perfect. So anyway, I just thought both of these posts were, like, you don't normally see well-reasoned posts like this. I thought this guy had a pretty well-reasoned discussion, and then this answer back at him was very well-reasoned. Like, they didn't get into, like, trash talking and all of that in both of these posts. I was pretty impressed by that. I was just wondering if anybody else saw that. I mean, I agree with both sides of the coin. Look, tracking... I mean, I'm a big fan of PlayStation VR. Like, I'm a really big fan of PlayStation VR. I'm going to go ahead and go back over to standard scene here. And let's see. I'm going to throw a different trailer on the screen real quick. I'm a big fan of PlayStation VR. It's an awesome system, especially when you play a game like this. Farpoint, baby, with that aim controller. Like, that is what PlayStation VR is all about. If you're getting good tracking and you're playing Farpoint with the aim controller, it's on a similar level as freaking Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. So when PlayStation VR is at its highest level, it can hang with the big boys, which is freaking amazing. But the bottom line is the tracking is pretty freaking god-awful. The controllers are pretty freaking god-awful. the wires going everywhere are kind of god-awful as well. Graphics are kind of eh. There's great content, though. There is incredibly good content. In fact, somebody could have a PlayStation VR, and somebody could basically have a PlayStation VR and just live on PlayStation VR, and just that's all they play, and they can still experience a wonderful VR experience. Like if I was stuck in a cabin somewhere and all I had was a PlayStation VR and every game on the PlayStation VR library, I could still have a beautiful VR gaming experience. There is enough good stuff that comes to this platform. There's a lot of great PC ports that come that, for the most part, you get the gist of the experience that they bring over. So PlayStation VR is awesome, but trying to say that it's better than Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, no. It's better. I mean, it's better that you don't need to spend like $1,500 on a high-end PC and stuff. But anyway, I thought it was a pretty interesting topic there. All right, well, that's pretty much gonna do it. Let's see if I can check out some of the comments in chat. I haven't really been paying attention to comments. My bad. Evans says, I think Game Boy is still the best game, or no, I think Game Boy is the best gaming console. Let's see. Nippy Kangaroo says, I'm looking forward to playing full ray traced games in an HDR HMD in the future. Yeah, the long distant future. Like, we're not going to get ray tracing. I don't think ray tracing is going to have anything to do with VR gaming for the next 3 or 4 years. But what I will say is the ray tracing audio, that could be a game changer. Like if they could just do the ray tracing audio for VR, that's going to be awesome. But I don't think we're going to actually have ray tracing games. Oh, Kevgret, good. He says, nice. Now Anthony is 2 out of 435 with his predictions. No, I'm a little bit better than that, brah. More like 7 out of 435. Okay, Andy Sky says, VR owners should support Ubisoft so other big companies can join the VR bandwagon. I mean, I get the idea there, but I think a lot of people, Hussein X says, 2 out of 435 is great. If I buy 280 lottery tickets, I could become a millionaire. It's worth the risk. Then I can donate half to his channel. That would be awesome. Yeah, we'd love that. Okay, let's see. Just looking for any other comments here. Kevin says, PSVR has better games, but the experience is not as good as PC VR. It's not even close. Yeah, I mean, look, PC VR is better. There's no other way to describe it. But PlayStation VR, it's kind of amazeballs what they've been able to achieve. Like, I played Raw Data on PlayStation VR, and it was pretty freaking close to the regular raw data. I couldn't believe it. And same thing with Red Matter. There's been so many great ports, and then they have some original games that have never come to PC. Like, if you've only got a PC, you've never played Bound, you've never played Rush of Blood, you've never played Wipeout VR. You know, I mean, you've missed out. I mean, you've never played Farpoint. You've never played Tumble. And there's many others that are not Static. Static is awesome. And there's others that I'm missing. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I need to get out of here. We're well past an hour. So I am going to bounce. So let's see here. Let me go back over to this situation here. So once again, I just wanted to say one more thank you to our boy, Jay Pace. Jay Pace, you're in chat. You are the man of the hour. Without your support, Jay Pace, none of this would have ever happened. I would have never gone on a crazy rant about the Firmament Kickstarter, how everybody's tails got wagged like a mofo once it passed 800K. But because Jay Pace is a Patreon supporter, you guys got that rant. Yeah, awesome. But much love to Jay Pace. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And then let me go ahead and get my little outro logo on the screen here, and we will bounce the hell out of here. All right, that's going to go ahead and do it. I will be back tomorrow on Saturday at 12 noon. back to 12 noon on Saturday. And then the other little bonus for the people that stay all the way to the bitter end, Stonepunk Studios is coming on this Sunday, guys. This Sunday, we are having the developer of Primordian on the show. I'm going to do a one-on-one interview. It's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that. So we're going to have that on Sunday, and Saturday we'll be back at our normal time, 12 noon. All right, I got to bounce out of here. I will see everybody tomorrow at 12 noon. See you guys then. Take it easy. Later.